All right, y'all. It's Tuesday, and I'm actually getting ready to say goodbye to you guys. Happy Tuesday, first off. Thank you for tuning into another episode of My Lazy Journey. We are on the final episode of the season. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me since like June, doing these weekly live interview series. We'll be back better than ever next season. But overall, I want to go ahead and give the floor to our final guest of the season. I can't believe I'm saying that. This has been a long journey. Final guest of the season. So I want to bring up Miss Tonisha. So Tonisha is the owner and principal consultant of Stalnaker Virtual Solutions. She is the proud wife of a dedicated law enforcement officer and a mother to two beautiful girls. When she is not spending time with her family, she's a dance fitness lover and dog mom. Having worked in corporate America for over 10 years in healthcare and IT recruiting, Tanisha found out that her strength was the ability to identify solutions and produce results. That's the main thing. We got to produce. She has a long track record of being the go-to person in most of her roles. Tanisha wanted to utilize her strengths to serve other business owners, and SVS was founded with that desire in mind. Tanisha not only loves each of her clients, but she loves each and every one of her team members that makes the SVS mission and vision come to life. I am all over myself tonight. But anywho, I want to bring her on so we can learn more about what she does, who she is, and bring the show on the road so I can get out the hot seat. Hey, Tanisha.
Hey, now we're both in the hot seat.
I know, like, Lord Jesus. We have some people saying, hey. All right. So I'm going to give the floor to you so I can stop tripping over my words. So, can you please do a better introduction of who you are and how exactly you got it started inside your field?
You did a great job. You said the
Thank
name
you.
perfectly. Everything is fine. And I promise I'm going to flub words and forget myself as well. So it's going to be easy.
That makes that clear
But
air.
as you said, I am the CEO of Stalnaker Virtual Solutions, which is a basically an agency full of amazing badass women. We are primarily systems specialists. We work very well with our clients just to find solutions and produce results, whatever those are and whatever they need. As far as how I got started, I had a master plan that I got my master's in 2019. I was recruiting for an IT consulting firm. I was going to work for a year, pay off my student loans, come up with some big, like just major business. I didn't know what the hell that really was going to be, but it was going to be big.
Right.
And then I got laid off. And so all of that went out the window. And I decided that I was going to start a business sooner. I'm just getting too old to be an employee anymore. There's nothing against it. But unfortunately, me and micromanaging aren't friends anymore. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to find something where I could really use my strengths. And so I started and launched the business January of 2020, pre-pandemic. So it led to lots of fun that first year.
Yeah. I can imagine, Lord Jesus, that was like the turning point, COVID, when that hit. So, can you tell us exactly? You said you have an agency. We know agencies, people kind of get confused when they hear agency. So, could you tell us a little bit more about agency and what exactly do you guys do, like
Yeah.
service wise?
So I will explain three different ways. So there's three ways to work with either me and or the agency. And so we kind of have a tiered system. So level one is one-to-one services that I provide, and I will work with either new business owners to make sure that they at least have some basic systems set up. I think a lot of people hear the word systems and they're like, oh, I'm just a few months into my business. I can't afford systems. When there are some basic things that you can set up in your business for low cost, if not free, that get you on the right path to get used to having systems. So I'll work with new business owners one-to-one for that. The next step is more established business owners. You've been working for a few years, you've had some systems, you've had some tools, you've had some things, and now you're in that rut of I'm paying for a bunch of stuff, and I don't even know what I really need anymore. I've been using this system for a couple of years because somebody said to use it, and I guess it's fine, but I'm not really sure. But I'm also paying for this over here. And so then I'll go in and we'll spend an hour, sometimes 2 hours, literally looking at everything that you're paying for versus your actual processes to see what makes sense and see where we can cut some costs. So that's tier one. With tier two, it typically is kind of a follow-up after that tier one call. Once we identify the things that the person needs, if they're not comfortable doing it themselves, we'll do what I call a VIP experience where we'll spend 4 or 5 hours and I will just jump in and automate everything for them. I will clean up the systems they have help them get rid of some things, cancel some things, and then automate everything else to make sure it's almost like a smart hub system for your business that everything communicates and talks. The third area is for definitely more established businesses that are bringing in, at least, those 5-figure months in their business. And then that's where the agency comes in. And the agency's focus is primarily systems. Most people come to us because either they don't have anything, they need a CRM, they need some type of like client management or a sales management system, or they need a project management system. And if we're lucky, they caught us in the earlier stages where we just build it for them.
Right.
But most of the time it's because either they tried it themselves or they hired somebody to do it for them, and it was never quite built properly the way they needed it to be. So we do a lot of optimization and fixing of systems. And then from there, we automate the life out of it to make sure that any human touch things that are repetitive, we can get rid of and, use a tool to automate it. In addition to that, the agency, we have some people on the team that are amazing with SEO and website design. They do beautiful designs. We have some people that do video editing, podcast editing, audio editing, and YouTube management as well. And those are more support services that we add on to those that come to us for the systems first.
Okay, I love how you have yours broken down, because normally some people are just like, I just do this one or just this one. I love how you have all of the steps for every level of businesses. So my question to you, someone's watching right now, like, I think I need it, but I'm not entirely sure I need our services. So when is the best time to reach out? I guess you can just say, like, with each level, like, when is the best time for each level someone should actually reach out? You kind of answered it already, but sometimes we got to reiterate.
So I will say the first thing is, if you're not sure, just book a discovery call with me. That's free. That's 30 minutes where I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. It's funny. I think I throw people off because people are like, well, I just need my honeybook fixed. Why are you asking about how I take, payments and where do I get this information? And I'm like, but because a lot of times people come thinking that they have a simple cut and they just need me to put a Band-Aid on it, when they don't realize there's actually an open wound that's gaping, that's bleeding out. And so I'm trying to fix all of that at one time. So I would say if you're not sure, just book the discovery call and we'll talk about it. But like I said, that tier one is definitely either you're brand spanking new to business, or you are established, but you just kind of need to see where your systems are and get them cleaned up. That next level is just that VIP day, somebody who does not have the patience to wait for us to take a few weeks to clean it up, and they can knock it out in a day. And then the agency, like I said, you're at least 10K a month or more. Because an agency is not cheap, and a lot of times people expect that the agency's price is going to be the same as if it was me as an individual, and that is not the case. It truly is a fully functioning agency, and it's built that way intentionally. So it's built with levels to it so that we can support everybody depending on where they are in their journey.
I love it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of like dive in a little bit more, not necessarily just your not industry, not your company, but just as a whole, for people that need help with, you do the whole shebang, but like, let's say someone comes in, maybe just like on the agency side needing help, because, they like to push, like, we need to have virtual assistants, we need to have all this good stuff as we're building up our company. So what advice would you give to somebody right now? Like, I'm thinking about hiring a virtual assistant, I'm thinking about the agency route, but like, which one is probably best in your opinion to probably get?
I think, well, the simple answer is,
a
lot of times if you're a mid, like second year solopreneur, a lot of times a virtual assistant will be fine. I will say, whether it's a virtual assistant or an agency, the one thing that you need to have in place is an idea of what your processes are. And or you might be able to say, here's my current process, but this is where I want it to be. And if you're hiring one person, you need to be even clearer with that, because I just explained to someone today, virtual assistants, it's such a universal term. And a lot of times business owners think that it's like a one and done, like they're all built the same, good or bad, like they're either all terrible or they're all amazing. And that's just not how it works. They're still humans. I think that a lot of times business owners don't understand that with a virtual assistant, one person, you have to figure out, are they a task-based person, or are they somebody that is a natural strategic thinking person? For me, I'm not a task-based person. You can give me 3 things, but if I notice in the background that something else is falling apart, I'm going to tell you. It doesn't matter to me that you only asked for those 3 things. It's just not how my brain is working.
Yeah.
Because what I do know is if I fix those 3 things, it's still not going to fix the problem. And I'm going to be the last person that touched it. And now you're going to go and tell all your friends, I hired this person to be my virtual assistant.
Right.
It was terrible. When in fact, you weren't having me fix the whole thing. But some people aren't equipped for that. So for those task-based people, now you have to be super clear about what you need and what you need from them. So with the agency, I have a mixture. I have some people that are super task-based, and I have some people that no matter what you tell them, they're going to tell you where all the problems are. And they're going to give you a solution to fix them. But no matter what, I'm around to kind of look at the higher level to say, hey, you might want to point that out because they're not good yet, but that's about to fall apart. You're gonna fix that for them. So like I said, I think it's just a matter of budget, but then also, clarity. You need to have some clarity before you hire, no matter who it is, whether it's a single person or an agency.
I love it. So I just have to ask this as a side question too, because this is a question sometimes that gets asked. Some people are wanting to build like agency models, like they see that, like they want to have virtual assistants. Sometimes the next best thing is agency model. At least that's being advertised from what I've seen. We're gonna hold that another day. But anyway, so sometimes like they want to build an agency model. So do you offer services for someone that wants to build their own agency model, or is that like, no, I don't do that?
Well, if you mean would I be willing to kind of work with somebody and mentor them? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk to anybody about anything if I have the ability. I genuinely believe that if somebody has gone through it first, good or bad, then they're a really good resource. It doesn't mean that how I did it is the exact way that everybody should do it. And I did go, in full disclosure, I did go through an agency cohort to kind of help put some things in place, and some of it I used, some of it I didn't use. But I am more than open to talk to somebody about the highs and lows of working with an agency, and the things that have worked amazingly, and the things that have definitely been some hard lessons.
Okay, good. I just want to throw that in there because I know sometimes that comes in. I'm trying to be like, good. Hey, y'all. We got some people saying, hey. I'm trying to do better with these comments, y'all. Like, as y'all know, I am terrible when it comes to.
I can't see the comments, so it's not me.
I'm terrible. Like, half the time, I be like, y'all, please just go back through. But, like, y'all, I have a side conversation. But anyway, back to you. So you do all this thing. You manage people. You manage a client. What do you do to implement, like, I call it laziness, but what do you do to outsource or practice healthy boundaries with everything that you're doing?
Well, a few things. And some of it's internally and some of it's just externally. So Fridays are blocked. I'll meet with my team every other Friday, but outside of that, clients are like, oh, I need to meet with you on a Friday. Well, then that'll be on a Monday. I don't do Fridays. So whether it's Fridays, I'm sitting and doing absolutely nothing and barely breathing, or we're doing homeschool field trips, whatever, Fridays are blocked. And then I've kind of layered my schedule because I do homeschool. And so I need to be realistic to making sure I'm available for her when she might need me, and for my clients. But then I also use my team for my business. So I have an assistant that works with clients, but she also supports me. That is amazing. And my brain does not always fit what Zapier or Make or some of these integration software tools and things, like, they're great, but they're not fixing everything that's in here. So I will give it to her. She's learned custom code because I'm like,
that's awesome.
15 steps past. So she's like, I'm going to learn this so that I can make it happen for you. So that's one major area of laziness where it's like, if I have to remember to do it, we are in trouble. So I need you to take all of that from me. Social media we were talking about is not my favorite thing. So I have some people on the team that do that. So I've hired one of them to take that over for me. So the plus to having the agency that I have is that there's very little that I would need to do on my business aside from being myself that I can't outsource to one of them to take care of.
I love it. Okay. Man, that's ideal situation, especially when they're really good at what they do. Yes. Which they are, y'all.
It's a weird way of being able to audition people. Because sometimes I'll hire somebody and have them do stuff for me first before working with a client. And sometimes it's in reverse. It really just kind of depends. But either way, I get to see every single thing that each person does amazingly well. It helps me know where to place them for the next client, and then also who I would want to use for my own business.
I love it. Okay. All right. So, next thing, kind of next and last thing. So, do you have any upcoming plans that we should be watching for, like on your social media pages and all that good stuff, or classes, lives, all that good stuff?
Well, I'm definitely making a more intentional effort to be live with people more often. Nobody wants me live by myself. It's a mess, a complete mess, just rambling mess. So I'm trying to be intentional with partnering with people where we can kind of share, and do things like this. So this is one thing. So people will be seeing this face more and more. But I'm definitely trying to and working on ramping up the more of the one-to-one support and the VIP assistance, because the agency is kind of like, yes, I do payroll and yes, I manage the team, but we've been together for a very long time. Some of the team members have been with me going on 2 years. And so it's kind of like a well-oiled machine with them where very rarely do they need me.
Right.
So I'm like, well, now I need to figure out what I'm going to do. So, but I just realized I really, really love that strategic thinking and partnering with people, even if it's for a shorter term, where I get to go in, fix it, and go out and then go off into the sunset. So I'm definitely looking for more of those strategy calls, the audit calls that I'm doing of people's systems, and those VIP days.
Okay, well, y'all heard it. So, with leading into the next thing, with you saying that, how can we contact you for you to do this stuff for us?
Got links for everything. So I'll make sure to put the link for my discovery call in the comments, and I will make sure to even put the link to the audit call in the comments as well, because you can book either one. And of course, you can find me on my website, stalnakervs.com. And Stalnaker VS is pretty much my handle for most everything. You can find me on Facebook under Stalnaker VS. You can find me on Instagram, Stalnaker_VS. I didn't realize that I was intentionally, accidentally branding everything Stalnaker VS, mainly because I knew I couldn't remember it if it was anything other than that.
You know what? That's how it is. I was like, if I had to try to remember anything else other than Lazy Millennial, I was not logging in. Even some of my own name, I don't remember. I don't remember the password and stuff too, because I try to be fancy. But anywho, so y'all heard it and y'all see it scrolling at the bottom, so make sure y'all type that in as well. I will also have it under the links. This will be on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the bio or whatever y'all want to call it. I mixed up all the platforms. But anywho, thank you so much, Tonisha, for joining me the past 2 months, two months, whatever, rambling on, talking to new guests. And the next season will be announced at some point. Make sure you're on the mailing list or follow me on social media, and I will be updating you guys on what's next. And that's all I got for y'all. So I'm gonna log off, follow Lazy Millennial, follow Tonisha, and y'all have an amazing night.